Welcome to the Manager's Tips series, where we look at tips, strategies, approaches and considerations to help busy managers like you with day-to-day management and leadership. CS Training UK Limited are an approved centre for the Institute of Leadership and Management. We offer qualifications, online learning and face-to-face training. In this section, we're going to look at 4 main contributing factors to performance. They are our relationships, how people in the team interact, the goal of the team, what they are ultimately aiming to achieve, how their job is carried out, the processes, and the roles. That is, who does what within the team itself. Now, it may be useful to stop the video for a moment and consider in what order you think the factors should be established with the team. Now, it might surprise you that it is generally considered best to first of all re-establish the goal with the team. That is ensuring that every team member is aware of and is focused on the same outcome. Then, to ensure that there is clarity of role, being clear with lines of responsibility, but encouraging flexibility. Then establish with the team members how we carry out the job processes. The intention is to gain clarity and agreement on the most appropriate, effective, and efficient ways of doing aspects of the job. And then finally, relationships. Now, often new managers think that relationships ensure performance. However, relationships can be excellent, but the team not necessarily be successful. It is generally thought that if a team has a common goal, people are clear with who does what in the team, and there is agreement about how the job is done, then relationships form by default. Now, you'll notice that the other 3 are reasonably objective, whereas the interpersonal dynamics or the relationships of the team are so much more subjective. For new managers, relationships in the team can be one of the hardest things to deal with, as we've mentioned. So the strategy is to go back to basics, ensuring that the team is clear on its goal and purpose, and this is something we can do as a group by exploring expectations and trying to aim to gain consensus. Then, individually revisit role expectations. And again, ensure there is clarity. Now, this is important because many jobs end up having bolt-on activities, and the original role can become somewhat blurred. At worst, an individual can start to identify poor aspects of the role for themselves, which might not be in line with your expectations as a manager. So a simple dialogue of asking what the individual sees as the core aspects of their job description, identifying where you agree, and then working on any gaps in expectation can help ensure that high standard of performance. Then we revisit processes to ensure that those who are actually doing the job have had an opportunity to input on how their job could be done. The simple act of listening to ideas from those doing the job itself demonstrates value. And being valued is one of the strongest motivators in the workplace. And many conflicts in the workplace can be as a result of a lack of clarity or agreement regarding goals, roles, or processes. And the process of revisiting and clarifying expectations from both sides means you as a manager and the individual team members can resolve some of these conflicts. Now, for new managers, it's important to be careful about becoming too involved in interpersonal conflict and avoid attempts to arbitrate, as we've mentioned. That is, making decisions who should do what, as you can very easily become wrapped up in this subjective area. Remember, better to stick to objective performance and ensure that the interpersonal dynamic does not affect that performance. And only when it does, then intervene and focus on the impact of performance rather than the dynamic itself.